Welcome to the Blogger Genius Podcast, brought to you by Milo Tree. Here's your host, Jillian Leslie.
Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the Blogger Genius Podcast. I'm your host, Jillian Leslie. I am a serial entrepreneur building businesses on the internet, and I love helping you build your own businesses by sharing cutting-edge tips and strategies. I wanted to give you an update on Milo Tree Card, which is the payment tool David, my husband, and I have just launched. With Milo Tree Card, you can sell and get paid for memberships, subscriptions, paid workshops, coaching, and now we have launched digital downloads. So what does this mean? Well, upload your ebook, your templates, your music, your digital art. Really, we support any type of file. We offer free fill-in-the-blank sales pages that we host for you, so you can go take that sales page and start selling directly to your audience. When somebody purchases, we automatically deliver your file directly to them. Magic! If you've been dreaming about selling that ebook, that art, those templates, head to milotreecart.com and get started. If you have any questions, email me at jillian@milotree.com. For today's episode, I have my friend Chelsea Clarke on the show, and wait till you hear what she does. She buys blogs, grows them, and sells them. And she also teaches other people how to do the same. I don't know if you've seen this explosion like I'm noticing of niche blogging where people are buying blogs, selling blogs. It's no longer this thing where you're investing years of your life. It's much more about these business transactions. But it can be a very lucrative business, as you will hear from Chelsea. So without further delay, here is my interview with Chelsea Clarke. Chelsea, welcome back to the Blogger Genius Podcast. It is so good to see you.
Hey, thanks so much for having me back. I guess I didn't scare you off too much last time.
Oh my God, no. You were one of the first people to discover our Milo Tree pop-up app, and you loved it. And by the way, our pop-up app is still crazy popular. People are using it to grow all of their social media followers, their email subscribers. So go grab it at milotree.com and get it on your site. Okay, now that I've given our pop-up app a plug, I think I saw a post of yours on Facebook, maybe Instagram, and I realized that you have moved into, or you've really specialized in niche blogging sites. And I've been dying to get somebody on the podcast to talk about this. And it was like, I put it out to the universe, and then I saw your post and I was like, Chelsea, you're my girl.
Hey, that's amazing.
It was like meant to be. So, okay.
Well,
so
thank you.
So let's talk about niche blogging, niche sites, which is a thing that, like, if you go onto Twitter, there are many people growing these niche sites and selling these niche sites. And as I always talk about on my podcast, you want to be in a niche. And so therefore I've had people come on who were lifestyle bloggers where I've questioned, is that a smart move, or is it better to be in a niche? So let's start at the beginning. What is a niche site, and how did you get into building them, selling them, creating kind of a whole marketplace around them?
Absolutely. Well, I'm so excited to get to chat about this stuff with you because this is like my whole world now. And really what a niche or niche site is it is similar to any type of website, except it really focuses on one main topic. So a lifestyle blog would be like something you're blogging about, maybe many topics. You might have many interests, and you have one website where you share all the different topics: travel, beauty,
parenting,
maybe blogging, business. Yeah, exactly. But when you have a niche site, you've just chosen one lane and you're just going to blog about travel, or just going to blog.
Yeah, that was, I was going to say, like, is it travel, or is it travel in Ireland?
Exactly. That's the thing. You can niche down even further. You can be like, you're only going to blog about packing tips for travel. You know, you can go as far, wide, narrow as you want to. You really get to choose that. And the benefit, like the reason why we focus on niche sites is because when you have a site like that, you have an audience where you know that one thing that they're into. They could be into all the other things as well, but you know that they're into that one thing. So it's a whole heck of a lot easier to get them on your email list and to know what to sell to them later, because you know they all have that one interest in travel. Whereas if you have a lifestyle blog, you might not know exactly what your audience wants, and it can be harder to monetize that audience. So that's the biggest reason why we focus on growing niche sites. And that's why I get so excited about it, because I'm a Gemini and I like to kind of jump from thing to thing. But being in this business means that I could run multiple sites, and each one has a very specific focus. So I can focus on it for a little bit and then go work on something else. And it's a nice way to keep my brain happy.
So for example, my husband is ready for it. He is a one bagger. Do you know what that is?
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
What is that? Like for packing?
Yes, for travel.
Yes.
Like he loves it. And there's a whole community, and he's in Reddit groups and loves like learning about so what it is, for people who don't know, is it's like people who travel in just one bag. It's like a backpack, or there are like these highly optimized bags, and he reads about all the bags and he wishes he could buy like 1 million of these bags, but it kind of defeats the purpose if you're just trying to minimize your life. And he's trying to get my daughter to be a one bagger. It's like a lifestyle.
Absolutely.
But it is a perfect example, right? Of like, this is travel, but it's really packing, but it's really one baggers, and it's a community because it's a philosophy. And there are therefore all of these bags and accessories and places one baggers like to travel to. So I think it's more male than female. So it just like all of a sudden you can start to go, oh, you could paint the picture of the one bagger.
You'll know your avatar much, much better, much easier that way.
And so therefore, like already as I'm talking to you, I'm like, I could see all the blog posts that I would want to write about one bag, like what are the cheapest bags? What are the most luxurious bags? What are the lightest bags? What are the accessories that I need for my bag? You know, how can I meet up with other one baggers? That kind of thing.
Exactly. And it's such a great way to build your authority when you just focus on that one topic for that website. Google's going to understand what your site is about when you only really stick into one lane for that domain. Like for that one site, Google will know, oh, this is an authority on this topic. And that's going to help you with ranking as well.
So is the idea of a niche site, I'm going to try and get as much traffic as I can by really optimizing my SEO and my keywords. Then I'm going to put ads on my blog, let's say, and monetize that way. And then because it is this niche site, it's kind of like you can easily understand it. And then the goal is I could sell this as an asset. So can you walk me through how you think about building niche sites as like assets?
Absolutely. So whenever I am working on a site, and this is what my audience is all about, all focusing on as niche website investors, is no matter what we're creating, what blog we're creating, we always are focusing on the growth, the monetization, and the exit. So we want to build something that is worth money. We want something that is worth that asset value so that we can resell it for more down the road. And so what I did is I founded a platform where people can do this at blogsforsale.co. And that's where content creators like post their sites that they are ready to sell. And then anyone can go in and buy it, work on it, and maybe you want to sell it down the road. But the whole thing is we want it to have the things that make it valuable as an asset is traffic and revenue and quality content. Those are like the three main things. I would say revenue is most important when buyers are looking at a site to buy. They want to see that there's a history of sales and, money coming in. That's always number one. And so when we're thinking about how we can monetize niche sites, it's really good to have more than one revenue stream. So we don't want to put all our eggs in one basket. And like these tips, this applies to any content creator, whether you would tend to sell or not, but you should have ad revenue on it. You should have affiliate revenue. So you're getting some sales from promoting brands, and then also your own digital products. So something that you get 100% of the sale for. And that's like the trifecta. If your site is monetized with those three revenue streams, it's going to put you in a really good, attractive place for buyers when they come looking.
So let's say I go, hey, you know what? I'm going to go be like a one bagger blogger. First question, how important is it that there's like a person behind the blog? Like, I'm Jillian, the one bagger, follow me on social media. Or do I not want that? Because eventually I want to sell it. I don't want to sell myself along with it.
That's right.
So is it much more about, this is the content for one baggers? I'm kind of behind the scenes, building content and stuff, but it's not like Jillian's one bagger site.
Yes, absolutely. So if your intention is to sell your site down the road, then you want to remove your persona from it as much as possible, especially if you can from the beginning. Or if you haven't thought that, but you want to do it now, you can always start removing your persona now to get it ready to sell. But it's good to focus on the brand. So, have a logo. You can even create an avatar. You can make up a person that is the face of the business. It doesn't have to be you. And essentially, if you're going to sell, it shouldn't be you, because you never want to have to sell your persona with a business, because you don't know what the new owner would do with your name or your photo, right? Or you might have an agreement with them, but then they might sell the business to someone else. And then what would that person do with your persona, right? So it's always good to focus on building the brand itself, the content, create an avatar, if you will, and then just not have your personal photos, not have your name. And by all means, do not put photos of your kids on a blog. If you're going to be selling, just don't even do it. Don't take that risk.
That is good advice. Okay. I'm going to start a niche blog. My intention is to grow it, to get traffic for it, to put affiliates up on there, and to build my own digital product. So let's go down the path of the one bagger, because I feel like that's so specific. So I sit there and I buy a good URL that hopefully has one bagger in it. And then I go, okay, I need content.
Yes.
What do I do?
Okay. So when you're in this place and you've decided this is a niche that you want to get into, you have two choices first. There's the slow route and the fast route. If you want to go the slow route, that's starting from scratch. That's buying a domain, setting up WordPress, and creating the content yourself or with writers from nothing. So that is one way to do it. There's nothing wrong with that. The way that I prefer to do it myself is I will look for a site that is already established. So it already has content. It's already established in the niche. It already has followers, revenue, social media, an email list. All of that stuff is already done so that I can just come in and then grow it from there. So those are the two kind of starting points that you can choose to do. They both have pros and cons. If you're starting from scratch, pros is that it's totally yours from the beginning. So you decide every single choice. You get to choose exactly what blog posts are on it, all of your colors, everything is right for your decision. You have that full control. The cons of doing it that way is it is going to take a longer time to get it up off the ground, get some traction, for Google to take it out of the sandbox and start ranking those articles. It's going to take time to build a following, an email list, to develop products, right? All of those things. And if you have time on your side, then, and you enjoy doing that, then that's a great route to go. But if you want the faster route, then the cons would be that a lot of those initial startup decisions have already been made by the current owner. So you don't have that full control in the beginning, but you can change everything once you have it. The pros, I feel, outweigh this way. I feel like it's much better to buy, because if you have a bit of money to invest, you get to skip all of that startup phase, right? You get to skip all of that initial growth and product creation, and neither's right or wrong. They're just both two different ways to get started. Yeah.
How much are we talking about when you look for a blog to purchase? What kind of investment are you looking at?
Personally, right now, I'm buying sites that are earning about $1,000 a month or more. So typically what we do is we, as investors, when we're buying a site, we'll pay up to 2, sometimes 3 years times its monthly profit. So like if a site's earning $1,000 a month, I would pay at most $40,000 for that site. But the thing is, when you go and you check out all the marketplaces, there is something for every single budget. There are starter sites that are priced under $2,000, or you could buy all the way up to a full-on established huge corporation blog and put a couple $100,000 down, and literally everything in between. So you get to really decide what type of investment or micro investment is right for you at whatever stage you're at. And that's another cool thing too. It's not like, the stock market where you have to, you put some money in and then you just kind of hope the stock market is good to you. You just kind of like hope and pray that you made a good decision. But with website investing, when you buy a website, you actually then have that control of the growth. The time you put in, the money you put in, the effort that you put in, that'll come back to you. So you actually get to control your return on investment much better than you do in the stock market, which you don't have any control of.
How do you kick the tires of a possible investment? Like, for example, how do you go, okay, I want to buy this site. Let's say it's $30,000. It's in the beauty niche, right? How do you go, like, I want to evaluate whether this is a good investment? What are you looking at? Aside from, that there's revenue, like, let's say that's real. They're not cooking the books.
Yes,
so you can see the money that's coming in.
Yes.
What else are you looking for when you're looking at purchasing?
So this is valuable advice for anyone who's either considering buying a site or you just want to get your site prepared to sell. So what I'm looking for and what I always recommend is when you're doing your due diligence, you're going to want to ask the seller or the seller's broker for access to the Google Analytics so that you can verify that the traffic is really there and you can see where it's coming from. You can see what pages are popular and, just really get a deep dive. You can also look at Search Console. So you just make sure that there is no, manual penalties or anything that might be affecting the site. You can do a backlink check. So you can use tools like SEMrush or Ahrefs, and you can really see the history of that domain. That's important to look into too. And then you're going to want to look at the profit and loss sheet. So if you are a content creator thinking to sell, you should be having some sort of easy spreadsheet that just shows how much you spend each month and how much you earn each month. And that's something that any buyer will want to look at so they can really understand as far back as records that you have so that they can understand really what the financials are like for your business. And then you're also going to want to look at any screenshots of revenue. You could look at, you could have a meeting with the seller and you can look at their affiliate dashboard. So you can just verify that what they say on that profit and loss sheet, it really, that income really is there. You just want to make sure. And being able to have a conversation with the seller is always good to have, or the seller's broker, because then you can understand so much more than you can just see on a listing page. And getting that face-to-face can also make both sides feel much more comfortable about entering into any deal. So those are some really important things to think about when you're doing your due diligence. And then as a seller, when you're getting your site prepared to sell, even when it's up for sale, you still want to be publishing content. You definitely don't want to feel like, oh, okay, it's up for sale. I'm done. I'm parted with it. Hasn't sold yet. So you really do still need to publish content, keep your social media updated, because buyers will be looking at that. And if they see that nothing's been updated in 6 months, they're going to think maybe the site is declining or it's dead. No one's at the wheel. So you just want to make sure that up until the day that you actually have sold it, you're running it with all of your, your heart, soul, and love that you did beforehand.
Now, when you say brokers, what does that mean?
So I am a broker. I'm a business intermediary. So I help people buy and sell online businesses.
Do you need a broker?
No. So here you do not need to have a broker, but there's definitely benefits to working with a broker because we know the ins and outs of the business. We can protect you from a lot of issues that can come up. We can recognize when there might be something in a deal that is not in your best interest. We can recognize when someone, whether you're a buyer or the seller, the other person on the side might be trying to sneak something into your contract. And I'm also a content creator, so I see both sides of the business. That's why it's really beneficial to work with someone, because we see it all. We've been there, we've been through it all, and we can protect you from getting into situations that you really don't want to be into. And a broker, what we do is we manage the entire process of the sale. So we present the legal contracts between the buyer and the seller. We manage the escrow so that we make sure that the money is held by a secure third party so that you are protected on either side while assets are getting transferred. We assist with all the technical stuff, like how the actual transfer happens between buyer and seller. And we do it in a way that it's very fast and seamless. So you can get your money like that rather than trying to figure it out and hoping to actually get that payment. We know how to do it. So that's a benefit of working with a broker, among others. But yeah, that's what I do.
What
That's
is
my
a typical brokerage fee?
So it'll range. It ranges by how much the actual business is selling for. So the range could be from 5% to 20%, depending on what your sale price was. And the higher you sell for means the lower your commission is.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. And so somebody, let's say, reaches out to you and says, I want to buy a blog or a website and hire you as the broker.
Oh, yeah. If you are looking to buy something, so buyers don't pay any fees.
Right.
So I work to help buyers as well, but a buyer doesn't have to pay me anything. I'm just helping them get a site. Yeah.
So you get hired by the seller. So like a realtor.
Exactly. It's like digital real estate.
But usually though, your buyer and seller both have real estate agents, but you're saying that the buyer doesn't. It's just you get hired by the seller.
That's right. Yeah. I work to protect both sides, but the seller is who pays the broker fees, the escrow fees.
Okay. So
Yes.
let's say you buy a site and let's say it's a site that's making $1,000 a month and you see potential. What do you see that is the potential? And then how are you going to optimize that site so that you can get a bigger return? How long does it take you? And what is your usual exit?
Yeah, those are great questions. So for me, the things that I'm looking for is traffic, revenue, and quality content. So those are the things that are attractive to me.
If you are curious how bloggers like Chelsea, who are making 6 and 7 figures, are growing their businesses, definitely get my free PDF where I share the 5 secrets successful bloggers know. So to get this, just go to milotree.com/secrets and see how many of these 5 things you are incorporating into your business. Again, milotree.com/secrets. And now back to the show. Do you look for something you're interested in? Like if it's something that you know nothing about, would you buy the site? Or if it's like, oh, it's like beauty or parenting or something that's like more in your wheelhouse. Like if it's like some sort of like heavy machinery, I'm not sure that would be something you'd know anything about, like tractors.
I would never buy a site if I didn't have personal experience in or personal interest in learning about.
Okay.
So for me, if it's something that whether I have education or just a passion for, that's a niche that's probably going to be attractive to me. And for anyone here that's listening, you're going to hear out in the blogging world, there are certain people say that there are profitable niches, right? Like health, relationships, and wealth, right? Those are like the 3 ones. It's like, oh, they're very profitable niches. But the thing is, if you personally do not have experience in those niches, they won't be profitable for you. So you need to pick niches that you really can connect with. And also just from an interest standpoint, if I were to buy something like machinery, I'm not going to be inspired to want to get up and write every day. I'm not going to want to put my whole into a website that I don't really care about the actual topic, right? So that's why I always say pick something that you personally love, you have experience with, or you are just willing to learn and research and really invest yourself into. That's always going to be more profitable.
Okay, so then what do you do? Like, do you have a stable of writers that you can then go, guys, go? Here are keywords, here are the blog posts I want you to write. Like, how do you then, so you bought something, let's say in beauty, and you go, now we're going to build this blog. What do you do?
So when I first started doing this, I was doing it all on my own. I would buy a site, and the first thing I would do is I would do a quick content edit. As soon as I got it, I would go through the blog posts. I would look for where there could be gaps. I call it monetization gaps, where the previous owner maybe missed an opportunity to add an affiliate link, or I can think of something that would be a great place for an Amazon recommendation right there. And I would just quickly do a scan of all the content and I would add in affiliate links where I could. And then I do a deeper dive in a couple weeks when I've like wrapped my head around it. And that was really my strategy. And then I would just work on it for a couple months and then flip it. So I would sell it after a few months when I felt like the revenue was on a upward trajectory. So you never want to sell a site if it's going down. You know, you want to work on it and sell it when it's really going up, and that's gonna get you the highest resale price. But there's really no specific timeline that you have to follow. It's really like you can decide when either you're no longer interested in it, or you just, you feel like it's time to sell. That part is totally up to you. And then nowadays I have writers and people that can operate and assist and run the social media and things like that. But if you are just thinking of getting started, you do not need that big team. You really can do it on your own or with one virtual assistant. So I don't want anyone to feel scared, like they can't get into it because they don't have that big team. It's really something that you can grow over time, and it can be done as a one woman, one man show too.
So you buy this, okay, it's a blog, and it's making $1,000 a month.
Yes.
How many blog posts typically would a site like this have that you purchase? Like, do you want one with more blog posts, fewer blog posts? What is your like kind of sweet spot?
Well, an actual number to me wouldn't matter too much. It's really about the actual quality of the individual articles. So I want to make sure that each article has like at least at a minimum 1,500 words. So it's actually the individual posts that matter the most to me. And I want to go through it and make sure that each article is really answering that search intent that someone might be typing into Google. And an easy way to do that is when you're doing your keyword research for articles that are already published, you can go and you can find related keywords, or you can add a frequently asked questions part to the end of that article that's just answering search intent questions that you've seen come up on Google. That's a really great way just to kind of like give each article an easy boost, I would say. That's something that I would do. I would also just really think about, okay, was this monetized the best? Could I create a digital product or a lead magnet that would really be a good addition to this article so that I can, one, get a sale, and then two, grow my email list. And a great way to do that is by having a tripwire offer. So I'll have a free lead magnet, have that opt-in box on my website. Someone can sign up to get the free thing. When they hit subscribe, it'll just automatically redirect to a tripwire page that gives them a limited time offer that is, something under $10, just a really quick win right away. And that's a great way to quickly monetize a new site, as well as adding something like that to your highest performing blog posts. And you can find out which post that is by going into the Google Analytics and seeing which ones get the most traffic.
Okay. How long? Okay. So we're working on our blog.
Yes.
And I've added my Amazon affiliates. I have maybe come up with a couple tripwires to grow my email list, but also to make these small-ish sales.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say I've hired somebody on Upwork to help me. I've come up with some of the gap posts, like, oh, we didn't answer this question. Let's write the blog post. And I've got like a writer who's writing me, let's say, a post a week. Does that sound kind of about what you're like?
Yeah,
how to
absolutely.
think about it?
That sounds like a great system to me.
How quickly then are you able to grow these blogs and then sell them? And for how, like, what kind of profit are you looking at?
Yeah, well, I can give a couple examples of my own experience, but everyone's experience is really going to be different. So I can't give an exact number for what someone listening would be able to do. I don't know what you would be able to do, but in my experience, one really great flip that I had last fall. So I purchased a site for $38,000. It was selling digital products, and I purchased it right before Black Friday.
Wait, what kind of digital products?
Templates, so Pinterest templates. And so what I did is I got it just in time for Black Friday and I ran a promotion. I put everything up on sale, special for Black Friday. I ran some ads to it and I just got a whole bunch of sales over Black Friday. So that increased the value right there. I held that site for just over 3 months and I resold it for $130,000. So that
What?
was that was a very quick
What
flip.
did you do aside from running a sale and running ads to the sale? What else did you do to optimize this site for 3 months?
Yes. So I went through all of the content and just like I sort of ran through what my audit or edit would be, I did that to all of the articles. I added better affiliate links. I interlinked the articles and I looked for any of the products that the seller had created and I just updated them. I really just updated them and I put them on sale. I started working on drawing attention to the content that she had already created because I didn't have a ton of time. I was very busy last season, so I didn't have time to create new courses or create new templates or create new blog posts even. So I really just had to improve what was already there and drive traffic to it. And it wasn't just with paid ads. I also really focused on free promotion as well. And I did that by going into Facebook groups where content creators hang out, designers or people who would want Pinterest templates. And I just went and I chatted with people. And in the groups that allowed it, I would share a link once in a while and just bringing people back to that sales page. And that's really all it was. And I really, I always prefer doing things the organic free way before I do it the paid way, because I need to verify that the organic free way is actually going to work first before I start dumping money into paid ads. So that was really a balance with this one because it was a quick sale. So I did just jump right into ads, but normally I wouldn't jump into ads so fast. Normally when I'm going to flip a site, I'm going to test out if people are going to buy it organically first. Some other great ones that I've had, there was one that it was a mental health and wellness blog. That was one that I purchased for $3,000 and I worked on it for about 6 months. And then I sold that one for $25,000.
Wow.
So that's another, the numbers can be quite big. And I always caution myself when I talk about my numbers because I definitely don't want anyone to feel like, oh, it's just, I'll buy a site and then I'll just make all this money because Chelsea did, So I'm just a disclaimer, like everyone's journey will be different. But the thing is, if you really work on it, there is no limit. Like if you have the time to invest in growing that site and getting the revenue up, then the value of that asset is going to increase and therefore you can resell it for more.
Are there certain seasons when you think prices go up, like before Black Friday? Like that was a really smart move?
I felt like it was just the right timing for that acquisition. It was the right timing for me to find it. And it was the right timing for the seller because she was just ready to leave. She didn't want to work on it anymore. She just wanted her exit. So it was just like a matter of timing for that. I don't find anything seasonal really affecting prices for buying websites, unlike the housing market. Things will tend to go up and down or spring or winter.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit different with websites. It can happen at any time of the year, and the prices really tend to stay pretty much between 2 to 3 years times that monthly profit. That's like the standard multiple for niche website investing. And on the platform at blogsforsale.co, we see that too. So
it's
selling
2
prices,
to 3. So the multiple, which means, so it's profit, not revenue.
Profit. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Profit.
Okay. So you take your revenue, you subtract out all of your expenses, you get to your profit number, and you're seeing a multiple, which means you take that number, you multiply it by 2 to 3.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So that is a good way to know the value. But if you are, say, in financial services or health, do those blogs or sites go for a higher multiple? Like, do you see a variance based on the niche?
I am not seeing a variance based on the niche. I'm not. It really just depends on the multiple. And I should also say between that 2 and 3 multiple, that would be 2 times your annual profit or 3 times your annual profit. So you'll hear that sometimes, or people will say like 24x to 36x. That just means like 2 years or 3 years, but it's the same thing.
Do you work on multiple blogs at once?
I do. I do. And it's kind of crazy. I think I'm actually running 7 niche sites right now, which is a lot for me, I feel,
Do you have a
but
staff to help you?
I have writers. I have some writers now, which is great. But I don't have like a full-time staff. We have independent contractors, and that's been working really well for us. But I would say if you are wanting to get into niche website investing, start with 1, maybe 2 sites at a time, sell that one, and then dive into running multiple sites, because no matter what, you're going to spread yourself pretty thin the more sites that you add to your portfolio.
How quickly can a purchase take place?
It could happen in a day. I mean, we have people that close within a couple days on our platform. So
Okay.
the process of what that looks like is when you see a site you like, you make an offer, the seller, might have to go back and forth to negotiate to get you the price that you want to buy it for. And then once that's agreed upon, it's as simple as opening escrow. You send the payment, we send the website, the domain, and all of the assets and email lists and everything to you. And then it's on you just to click a button to make that officially close. So we can do that in a couple of days. It really just depends on how fast you can, respond to your emails. That's really all it is.
Wow. Okay. So it's not like buying a house with 30-day escrow or anything like that.
We've had that so some of the sites that I've sold in the $100,000 plus price, it will take a little bit longer because then there's more conversations that happen. There's usually like trademarks and LLCs and just things that need to get worked out, that there's more to it. But if it's like a $20,000 site, that can be closed fairly fast.
Now, what about email lists? Are those valued as separate assets? Like an email list is very valuable.
Yes, it definitely is. And it is part of the business. So we would never just sell an email list on its own. Not only is that illegal, but it's just not good for the people who are subscribed. But when you sell a business, all of the assets that are part of the business go with the business. So if you have a really sizable email list, that will help increase the value of your selling price as well, because that's valuable. That's your community, and having a community around your business is a fantastic asset to have.
So you have been just like a regular blogger working on your blog, and now you have pivoted into niche sites. Which do you like better? Because, a lot of the bloggers I talk to are bloggers who've been blogging for 10 years, who have put their blood, sweat, and tears into their blog. It's like you've watched their kids grow up in their blog. Like, this is a whole different way of thinking about blogging. So given that you've done both, how would you describe it?
Yeah, I think that the way I do it now really fits my lifestyle. I too have been blogging for like 2 decades. And back when I was working in corporate marketing and I was working at a business brokerage, I always still had a blog as a hobby on the side. And when I quit my job at the business brokerage and I decided to just blog full time, I hadn't decided yet that it was going to be focusing on niche sites, but I knew that there was certainly a lot of value in the digital market, because the business brokerage that I worked at, they only focused on brick and mortar. And being a content creator, making money as a blogger, I know that there was a lot of value for the digital space, so for selling digital online businesses. So when I left that job, I really started focusing on that myself. I was just growing sites. And then pretty soon people started asking me, they wanted help, or they wanted to know where to be able to buy sites as well. And it was just sort of a natural progress before I launched the marketplace where people could come and do that. But I think neither is right or wrong. It's just in the place that I'm at now, I like being able to just work on a site for a few months and then sell it, and then work on a totally different niche, explore something completely new. I like that creative drive behind it. So that's what I do. But I mean, I've had my blog, herpaperroute.com, for years and years, where I'm just sharing like marketing advice. And that's probably a bit more, one that I'm not going to sell. That's something that is me. So in a way, I kind of still am doing both. I'm still, working as just a blogger, and then also as this like blog flipping niche site investing person. Yeah.
What's interesting is I talk to bloggers who are, say, lifestyle bloggers, and they go, oh, I get bored. And that's
Yes.
why I'll say, it might make sense to niche down. So Google and the internet and people see you as an expert at something. Like I
Yes.
know, for example, niche sites, Chelsea, you're my girl. Like I'm not going to come to you for tractor tips or one bagging or anything like it's not you. So
Yes.
therefore, but now you are in my brain under niche sites or niche sites, but both of
Yes.
those are you. And so when I
Yes.
say this to lifestyle bloggers, they go, yeah, but I can't get rid of parenting, or I can't get rid of food, or I love my DIYs. But I kind of think that this might be a solution for them, which is go be a parenting blogger for a while until your kid then go
Yeah.
be a DIYer, and then go do, like, it's a way to kind of I don't know, get immersed in something until you get bored of it and then move on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's such an important fact, I think, to mention, because lifestyle blogging is really fun because you do get to do all of these different things, but then you become an authority of nothing. So by doing it this way, you can still have your authority blog that people know you for that one thing. And then you can have all your other, just even split out the categories on your lifestyle blog and put them onto individual domains. I do that. I will let you in on a secret. I have like 7 niche sites. And then what I do is I just have one email list that is like a lifestyle email list where I can, in that newsletter, I talk about all the different blogs and I like link out to the different, like a beauty site, a home decor site, all of these different things, a food blog, but my personal name isn't on any of those blogs, but I can still be creative. I can still run those blogs and have that outlet, but I don't have to necessarily be known as the authority or the non-authority by being on too many sites.
So wait, so you send an email from you, Chelsea, going, hey, you want these beauty tips? You want this recipe? Like, how does that make sense? How do people go, oh, wait, those are all of Chelsea's blogs? Like, how do you communicate that? How do you connect the dots?
Yeah, so I have my main email list at her paper route, and that's just where we talk business and niche site investing. That's just for that one. And then I have like, it's not my personal name on it. I just have a lifestyle
Got it.
edit newsletter,
Okay.
which is for women who are interested in all those different things, and they sign up to the newsletter so that they can, hear about all of these different things, and I can use all my different niche projects to include in that
To like
content.
drive traffic, but it's not like, hey, it's Chelsea, guys. How are
Yes, no, I
you?
don't. Yeah.
It's more corporate, or it feels more kind of like as if these are almost like magazine.
Exactly. Yeah, like editor's picks type of thing.
Got
Yeah, it's
it.
funny because I was just working on the site today. I can't recommend it right now because I'm working on the site, but yeah, it's fun because it's like that creative outlet where you do get to be all of the things you want to be, but you don't have to be known for things that are not your main authority thing.
So of your 7 niche sites right now, what niches are they?
So I have a home decor, I have a beauty blog, a fashion blog, a tech blog. My husband and son run a YouTube channel and blog, which is in the woodworking niche. So that's in our house of things as well. Geez, what else do I have? See, I can't even remember them all. Oh, I have a college tips blog. I am not in college anymore. That was a decade or so ago, but I still have this site and it does really well on Google, especially this time of year. We're back to school. So it just sits there and it just earns revenue, which is nice, but it's a smaller one. It's not a lot. And then I'm always adding other sites in and out too. So I'll probably
Wow.
sell the college blog next year, which is exciting, but not quite ready
Wow.
to just yet.
Wow. Okay. I am so glad that I saw your post and that you are now my niche site expert. Like, this is so perfect because I think this is just, I hope this is blowing people's minds and makes you think more entrepreneurially, makes you go, hey, I could do this. And especially because the investment doesn't seem like that high, like meaning you could get in at $1,000, $2,000,
Exactly.
and or you could build it yourself.
Yes. Yep.
So
That's it.
I love this. I love this. Okay, Chelsea, if people want to find out about you, reach out to you, learn more about buying and selling niche sites, where should they go?
Well, thank you again so much for having me. I got to say that this is so great that we got to chat again. If anyone wants to link up with me, you can find my Blogs for Sale marketplace. That's at blogsforsale.co. It's .co. You can go and check that out, and you'll be able to see all of the different websites that we have, and you can actually get some tips there for what you might want to do. And you can even get a free valuation if you're thinking of selling your site. And then my other blog I mentioned was herpaperroute.com. You can find me there.
Say it slow.
Her paper route or route, depending where you live.com. And then I wanted to share a free gift if it's okay.
Of course.
With you, Jillian. So I put together a sort of a selling kit for first-time niche site sellers, and I sell it for $197. So I want to give it to everyone listening here, give it for free. If you go to herpaperroute.com/kit, that's KIT, you can get free access to it. And what it is it's a series of workshops on what you can do to prime your blog or your e-com site for sale. So what to do to make it, increase revenue, increase traffic, make it look really good for buyers, and just put it in that best position to sell. So that's at herpaperroute.com/kit. And yeah, thanks for letting me share that too. I wanted to make sure that your audience got that.
Absolutely. Well, I just have to say, it is so fun watching your growth, watching your process and your journey. So thank you, Chelsea, so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. This is so much fun. I'm so happy I got to be on here 2 times.
I hope you guys like this episode. I think it's so fascinating how we've watched blogging evolve from back in the early days when people were putting up blogs kind of for personal reasons, then backing into businesses. And now people are super intentional about blogs as assets they can buy and sell. And if you have the foundations of blogging down pat, you could really think about putting this to work for you, even investing in a small blog and seeing what you can achieve. And just to recap all the things I shared in this episode, if you are ready to sell digital products to your audience, like digital downloads, memberships, workshops, coaching, that kind of thing, head to milotreecart.com and go set up some products and free sales pages and see what you think. If you're trying to grow your social media followers on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Pinterest, and your email list, definitely get our MiloTree pop-up app on your site ASAP. Go to milotree.com, customize it how you like, and install it. You get your first 30 days free. If you want the secrets that successful bloggers already know, just head to milotree.com/secrets and get the free download. And I will see you here again next week.